right, we are back and live again for the third period. Sorry, I had to go offline to get a little charge. And as we restart here, we're going to have Flanagan out there with Martin. That puck is stuck in water. Dobbs is going to get it up over to Agbay. And that puck's going to be circled up by Naha. Naha's going to punch it up. That's going to be met by Flanagan, McKenzie, and get dumped down deep into the Bell Tire zone, where Martin's going to pick it up and send it around to McKenzie. Flanagan up to Markovich. Markovich's going to go up to Dobbs. Dobbs is going to try and go rink wide to Agbay. Going to just miss her stick, and Naha is going to be with possession. That puck's going to make its way down into the Bell Tire zone, where it's going to be picked up by Flanagan. Flanagan's going to go up to Agbay. Agbay going across the tour, picked up by Palucci. Palucci gaining the zone, and that's going to go up into the netting. As we restart here, we're going to have Hewer, Palucci out there with Cruciano, Morton, Caitlin Flanagan. Caitlin's shot. Going to hit a group there, picked up by Palucci. Palucci turning, going up towards, into the corner. Going around, she goes into the net, picked up by Hewer. Sent back around where Palucci's going to regain possession in the corner. A lot of water on this ice. That puck is getting stuck. If you see it just freeze or mishandled, there's a good reason why. And at the half wall, met by Kazarowski. Now Palucci's going to send it in. That's going to go off the skate and come out to Naha, where they're going to come out to neutral. It's going to go down deep into the Bell Tire zone and picked up by Morton up the wall, finding Clemens. Naha out front, blocked by Streeter. Morton with possession. Drop pass down to Caitlin Flanagan. Flanagan going up to Clemens. Clemens going rink wide to Kazarowski. Kazarowski gaining the zone. Shot in. Turned aside. Picked up by Evans on the half wall. Evans trying to drop it back to Clemens. Bell Tire's line change on D's, bringing in Caitlin Flanagan. Flanagan now shot in. Gets intercepted by Naha. Battled by Evans and Clemens. Kazarowski applying pressure. Naha turning, coming up the half wall. Naha going up. Going to be met by Markovich. And Kazarowski's going to try and send it down deep. That puck now at center ice. Agbay trying to step in on it. Naha sends it down deep. Bowman. Bowman going off the wall, finding Agbay. Agbay out to Dobbs. Dobbs going to take it into the zone. Dobbs is going to gain down into the corner and throw a Naha player off. There we go. That should be a power play for Bell Tire. That's holding on Naha. All right, as we start going again here, we're going to have a power play. 2 minutes up on the board for the power play. Dobbs won that back to McKenzie. McKenzie Flanagan over to Markovich. Markovich down to Dobbs. Back to Markovich. Up to Flanagan. Flanagan back to Markovich. Markovich trying to go back, and that's going to hit a skate and go out to neutral. Sliding down into the Bell Tire zone, where it's picked up by Flanagan. Flanagan's going to hit the brakes behind her net, move it up to Agbay. Agbay, dropping it back to Martin. Martin going across. That's going to hit a skate and come back. Martin with possession, going up the boards, finding Agbay. Agbay off the wall. It's going to be picked up back by Martin. Martin going wide to Markovich. Markovich with possession, gaining the zone. Slow rolling in. Markovich now hits the brakes. Going to go up top to Flanagan. As Bell Tire gets set back up, Flanagan back to Markovich. Markovich off the same play, off the skate. That's going to slide down into the Bell Tire zone. 1 minute. We're left in this power play. And that puck dropped back. And now picked up by Naha. Naha dropping it off at the half wall. Bell Tire, Flanagan now with possession. Sending it up That's intercepted by Naha. Naha going rink wide. It's going to be shot in and gloved by Streeter. 32 seconds remaining in this power play for Bell Tire. 12:48 on the clock. Line change for Bell Tire is going to bring out Cruciano, Evans, Clemens, Martin, and Caitlin Flanagan. Puck is down. Caitlin Flanagan sending it around to Martin. Martin drops it back to Flanagan. Flanagan moves it up the wall, looking for Cruciano. Cruciano tips it through. And it's going to be an offsides, I believe. So as we get going again, we're going to have a draw just outside the Naha zone. Evans with puck, sends it over to Cruciano. Cruciano up against the boards. Martin going back to Caitlin Flanagan. Flanagan in her own zone, getting it up to Cruciano. Cruciano trying to center. Off a skate again, and that gets into the hands of Naha. Naha jumping in. Martin gets her stick on it, stops that onward progress, and Naha's back to even strength. Bell Tire's power play is over. That's Agbe with possession. She gets taken down and picked up by Naha. Naha in their own zone. Naha is going to circle. That's defended by Dobbs and Martin. Martin gets her stick on it. Gets it up free and now picked up. Martin with possession now, going behind her own net, sends it around to Caitlin Flanagan. Flanagan hits Agbe in stride, and Naha gets possession. Dobbs in there battling. Martin stepping in. Now Agbe. Martin backing out. Martin gets it out to Caitlin Flanagan. Flanagan makes a move, goes to center, gains the zone, gets a shot off, goes over the net. Picked up by Markovich in the corner as her team's going out for a change. And that puck comes up through. Cruciano gets her stick on that. Keeps that puck deep at the half wall. Bellucci now out with Hewer, Cruciano, Mackenzie Flanagan, and Morton Flanagan. Hard into the boards. And now Hewer coming out with the puck. Morton win neutral. Getting it down into the Naha zone. 10:46 on the clock. Down in the corner, Hewer, Bellucci. Bellucci's looking for a centering pass. It gets knocked behind the Naha net, up the wall. Picked up by Mackenzie Flanagan. Flanagan's shot is gloved by Naha's goalie. All right, Bell Tire line change is going to bring out Evans, Kazarowski, Clemens, Morton, and McKenzie. That puck is down. Evans trying to tip it back to Flanagan. Flanagan sending it down deep. Evans behind the net. Clemens stepping in. Clemens dropping it back to Morton. Morton taking a shot in, makes its way through, and it gets free. Kazarowski's going to get it on the rebound to hit Bell Tire up. 3-1. Kazarowski punching it through off the rebound off the pad of Naha's goalie with 10 minutes and 15 seconds. All right. As we restart, Evans on the draw, knocks it back to McKenzie. Flanagan, the initial pass gets blocked, but she keeps it going down into the Naha zone. Back behind the Naha net. Naha at the half wall. Trying to break it out. Collected by Markovich. Markovich trying to tip it ahead. Couldn't quite get there. Morton sends it across to Kazarowski. Kazarowski sends it deep into the Naha zone. Bell Tire goes for a line change. Markovich out there with Dobbs, Agbe, Martin, and Bowman. Naha coming up into the Bell Tire zone, defended by Martin. Martin keeping that puck moving, picks it up now in the corner, and is going to freeze it, wait for help. Martin trying to pick it free. Can't tell who's in there. I think that's Dobbs. Dobbs holding strong, keeping that puck frozen on the boards while Martin and her work. That kid's finally free and picked out by Agbe, almost out of the zone. Now picked up by Martin, up to Dobbs. Dobbs going to chip it ahead into neutral. It's going to make its way down to the Naha zone. Naha now coming up through neutral. Defended by Bowman. Bowman gets a stick on it. Shot goes wide of the net. Picked up by Martin and Agbe. Martin now circling, sending it up the board. And that is going to be picked free by Palucci. Now picked up by Martin. Martin's going to go off the glass, find Palucci at neutral. And now picked back up by Martin. Martin's going to send it down deep into the Naha zone. Going to hit the end board and come back out front where it's going to be covered up to freeze play with 8 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. Bell Tire up 3-1. Palucci, Cruciano, Hewer, Mackenzie Flanagan, and Caitlin Flanagan on ice for Bell Tire. Puck is down. Hewer dropping it back to Caitlin. Caitlin sending it across to Mackenzie. Naha picked up that pass, and it comes free into neutral. Naha gaining, Cruciano chasing. Now Cruciano's going to get called on a penalty kill. On a trip. So that's going to put Naha up on a power play with 8 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in this third period. Bell Tire penalty kill is going to start out with Agbe, Dobbs, Mackenzie, and Caitlin Flanagan. Dobbs on the draw. Picked free. Naha into the slot. Agbe disrupting the play. Naha coming up through. Agbe again disrupting in the slot. Shot blocked by Streeter. Collected by Agbe. What it's blocked by Streeter. Naha going rink wide. Naha now trying to find centering pass that goes down behind the net. Picked up by Naha. Now at the half wall. Circling in. Dropping it off in their point. Down to the half wall. Naha cycling. 1:24 remaining in the penalty kill. In, and Agbe gets a stick on that pass to get it wide. Naha circling into the slot. Shot, gloved by Streeter. Freezing play. Line change for Bell Tire is going to bring out Palucci, Markovich, Martin, and Mackenzie Flanagan. So Palucci on the draw. Puck is frozen at the dot. Palucci down, lost her stick in the mix. Pass goes up top. Martin defending here at the half wall. Gets that puck frozen up against the boards where Palucci is out there to help. Now Markovich is going to get a step. She's just going to slap it down to the end of the ice here into the Naha zone. 51 seconds remaining here. Palucci in a race. Got there quick. And Naha regains possession, coming up in through their own zone into neutral, dropping it back. Now through neutral. This is going to be setting up here, dropping it up. A little bit of an errant pass. Mishandled, picked up by Markovich, who's going to hammer it back out into neutral. Now break it free. Markovich now gaining a little bit of room. Naha with possession in their own zone, sending it rink wide. This is going to be defended by Martin as Dobbs steps out on ice. Chipped out by, that goes wide to the half wall. 7 seconds remaining. Agbe out for Bell Tire. That puck goes wide of the net. And now it's going to be met by Martin in the back of the net. She gets possession and sends it up the boards. That's going to roll almost out of the zone. Kept in by Naha, sent back down deep. Picked up by Flanagan. Bell Tire back on even strength here. Flanagan going up to Hewer. Hewer trying to chip it out to Dobbs, who was going for the change. Naha intercepted. And Martin and Agbe defending there on the missed pass. That goes out of the zone here. And it's picked up by Naha. 5:47 on the clock. Naha passing back and forth as Evans is trying to disrupt play. Caitlin Flanagan kept that in. Evans keeping that puck deep. Kaczorowski and Evans battling here, keeping the pressure up. Clemens jumped in. That's Morton. Oh, are you kidding me? Beltire's going to go back onto the penalty kill here. 5 minutes and 24 seconds remaining on this clock. As Morton's going to head to the box. So that's going to bring out Dobbs and Agbe, McKenzie and Caitlin Flanagan. And that puck is down, sent around the boards. Picked up by Agbe. Agbe kept it moving. That's going to clear the zone. Down into the Naha zone. Naha behind their own net. Beltire's going to let them take their time as they chew up penalty time clock here. And coming up through center ice, chased by Agbe. Now McKenzie Flanagan. Naha circles the Beltire net. Caitlin Flanagan up to the half wall. Up to their point. Chased by Dobbs. Picked up by McKenzie Flanagan. McKenzie sending it up the boards. That's going to clear the zone. Beltire's going to go for a line change as that puck makes its way all the way down here. And on ice is going to be Palucci, Caitlin Flanagan, Martin, and Hewer. Naha coming up the wing, met by Martin. And they circle. Circling up, sending it to the half wall. Caitlin Flanagan getting a stick on it out of the zone. 57 seconds remaining here in the penalty kill time. That's going to get sent across. Missed pass. Caitlin Flanagan trying to get her stick on it. Picked up by Palucci. Palucci's going to go off the wall and try and get it cleared. It's going to be collected at the line and now cleared ahead. That's going to go all the way down. Continue to chew up this penalty kill time. 30 seconds on the clock. Naha coming back up for another rush here. This is going to be defended by Martin. Martin pushing wide behind the net. Keeping on her. Naha drops off at the half wall. Martin frees up at the half wall. Gets it cleared out. And that's going to go the length of the ice. That'll be 10 seconds remaining in the penalty kill time. Naha behind their own net. Naha moving up ice. Agbe chase. And Naha defended here by Martin. That's going to be cleared out. And now you've got Morton who's going to just chip it into the zone as time expired on that penalty kill. Now coming up their own zone into neutral. And Kaczorowski gets her stick on it. Kaczorowski in a foot race now. Kept in by Evans. Evans is going to dump it down deep into the Naha zone. And Evans now with possession in almost in the corner. Naha now coming back the opposite way. Naha is going to go up. Kaczorowski gets her stick on it again and sends it back down deep into the Naha zone. Opposite wall. Picked up by Naha behind their own net. Circling out. Intercepted by Kaczorowski for a third time. Kaczorowski is just being a menace to the Naha players here. And Naha coming up. This is going to be defended by Caitlin Flanagan. That puck gets sent down deep. Clemens with possession now, sending it around. Picked up by Caitlin. Caitlin's going to go up the wall, looking for Kaczorowski. And that one's going to miss Kaczorowski's stick and go down for an icing with 2 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the game. 3-1 is the score. Third period, 5% on the iPad battery. All right, Hewer on the draw here. Palucci out with Cruciano, Bowman, and Caitlin Flanagan. Puck is down. It's coming free. Naha going up top to their point. Shot in. Gloved by Streeter, who's been a beast in the net tonight. 2:03 on the clock. Agbe, Markovich, Dobbs coming out on ice for Beltire. Bowman, Caitlin Flanagan. Puck is down. Picked out. Bowman trying to get it ahead. Markovich chips it out to neutral. Naha with possession, coming up through neutral. Markovic not letting it happen. Naha retreating back into their own zone, going rink wide. Agbe with a little bit of interference. Caitlin trying to hit it ahead. Hits off a skate of Naha, gains possession, sends it in on net. Streeter blocks that. Naha going wide, sending it down deep. Back up top, sending it in. Goes wide of the net, picked up by Flanagan. Flanagan sends it up. It's going to make its way out into neutral. 1:24 on the clock. Sending it around. Naha back into the zone. That's going to be offsides on Naha. Bell tire line change is going to bring out Evans, Kazarowski, Clemens, Martin, and Morton. Evans on the draw. Puck is down. Clemens hits it ahead. Picked up by Naha. Naha trying to gain. Kazarowski sends it around. Gets down deep into the Naha zone. 1:10 on the clock. Naha behind their own net. Evans chasing. Off a stick. Picked up by Naha. Defended by Martin here. Shot in. Covered up by Streeter to freeze play. 59.9 seconds remaining in this game. 4% on the iPad. We're going to come in just in the nick of time here, everybody. We'll charge it tonight. Ah, shit, there's a timeout. All right. Timeout could be problematic. All right, we're going to get back going here. On ice is going to be Martin, Morton, Evans, Clemens, Kazarowski, and Streeter. Evans on the draw. 59.9. Puck is down. Evans kicks it wide. Picked up by Martin. Martin goes wide to Kazarowski. Kazarowski sends it up the boards. That's going to break its way out free. No ice. Half wall. Clemens. Evans sends it on net. Naha behind their own net. Naha trying to chip it up. That's going to be a high stick. And that is a high stick. Played by Naha. 37 seconds even on the clock. It should be down inside the Naha zone. There we go. This will be a rush by Bell Tire here. Evans on the draw. Kazarowski, Clemens, Martin. Morton still on ice. Evans won that back to Martin. Martin shot in. Gets tipped, goes wide of the net. Martin in a foot race now. That's going to be play out. And Martin wins that foot race. And Naha now with possession, picked up by Kazarowski. Kazarowski now carrying that puck out. He's going to send it in on net. That is going to be on net. Bell Tire's going for a line change. Naha with some last-ditch efforts. Kazarowski gets another interception. Runs into Hewer, picked up by Palucci. Palucci now makes her way free. 6 seconds on the clock. Palucci, and she's going to shoot with 2.5 seconds remaining. .5 seconds. 3% on the iPad. Palucci on the draw. Cruciano, Hewer, Martin, Morton on ice for Bell Tire. Palucci to draw. Puck's down. That will be the end of the game, folks. Bell Tire's going to bring this one home 3-1. We will be back tomorrow morning, I believe, at 10:30 against Stansted. Have a good night.